Welcome. This is Richard, and I want to welcome you to the Innovation Best Practices episodes, where each one I try to design to help you sell more and make more from your innovation program using proven and practical best practices. I want to give a special welcome to listeners in 80 countries and probably also to the area of the country where I grew up, north of Boston. Haven't lived there for a good number of years. I now currently live in Arizona, but very fond memories of my time in the New England and Boston area. So, hello. You have the opportunity to watch these episodes, or listen to these episodes, I should say, in a variety of ways. In 2016, I started publishing VideoCasts on YouTube. It's the same audio track as the podcast, but it has visuals associated with it, which may make it a better listening environment for some people. All you need to do is go to YouTube and in the search bar put Richard Innovation Best Practices. We'll be in the search results 4, 5, 6, whatever down the list. Click on it and you'll see all the currently available VideoCasts. We also have the podcast, of course. You can go to i2ge.com. That's the letter I, number 2, ge.com/podcast. Or go to iTunes. And when on iTunes, when you get to the podcast area, just click on the podcast area and search for Innovation Best Practices, and you'll find us right away. If you do go to iTunes, please consider giving us a 5-star rating and review. It really, really helps other people discover the Innovation Best Practices podcast based upon the algorithm that the folks at iTunes use. And here's an example of a sort of review, and this was a 5-star rating. The title was Extremely Helpful and Astute. Really, rarely does one find a series of podcasts that are so insightful, timely, and personally impactful. This series could well change your life, both personally and used in your business. Innovation is so often the key to success, and these podcasts teach one how to harness these powerful tools. Excellent! Exclamation mark. I'm not sure who wrote that, but thank you very much. We also have free apps to listen to the podcast on the iPhone or iPad. Go to the App Store, and for Android devices, go to Google Play. So you got a free VideoCast, free podcast, free apps. It doesn't get much better, I guess. I love it when listeners contact me, so you can just reach out and email me at richard@i2ge.com. I look forward to hearing from you. Today's episode is going to talk about where technology innovation is heading. It's a blog, a Cisco blog, written by Stephen Montered. So let's get into it. As an overview, this is a blog that's based upon a survey that was done of 60 leading academic professors in electrical engineering and computer science in 25 top universities worldwide, where they were asked what areas of research would you be focusing on going forward. And they came up with 4 future directions that I want to share with you that came from this blog. The first one is the pending end of Moore's Law. Now, if you're at all into computers and everything, you're fairly familiar with Moore's Law. Moore's Law is the observation that over the history of computing hardware, the number of transistors in a dense integrated circuit has doubled approximately every 2 years. Gordon Moore was the guy who came up with this, hence Moore's Law, and he's one of the co-founders of Intel. In 2005, to his credit, he predicted that the doubling would end at some point in time. To achieve the doubling also produced significantly greater development cost for each new generation of integrated circuits. So it cost a lot more to achieve the doubling of the number of transistors. This law requires smaller and smaller transistors. It went on for several decades. And while this is still possible, the cost has become increasingly high and uneconomical. Research is underway to find alternative methods of continuing to increase processing speeds. Now, there are other things that are involved in the whole processing chain, and they continue to increase in speed, especially things like fiber optics And in some cases, cloud computing can contribute to that. The second of the four major areas of focused research has four elements. The first is artificial intelligence, and where future research is going to focus on. And there's a lot of activity around this. This includes a wide range of possibilities. Better abilities to research vast amounts of data come with artificial intelligence as they develop it. Creating a human and computer interface that also has possible extensions into robotics and self-operating vehicles. And we read a lot about that with what Google is doing. It also helps facilitate deeper and broader forms of learning. Bottom line, it's about creating computers and computer software that are capable of intelligent behavior. Interesting stuff. Artificial intelligence has many hoped-for capabilities, and one of the reasons people are so excited about its possibilities. They include deduction, reasoning and problem solving, planning, learning, natural language processing and communication, perception, motion and manipulation, and longer term, they think it will actually be able to develop social intelligence, creativity, and general intelligence. That's quite a list if we can get all of that out of artificial intelligence. The second of the four is process optimization, and this is software and systems engineering for further improvements in computer processing. Significant improvements also in hardware. Equipment optimization is one of those areas, and that's where software and computers verify that equipment is being its most effective and efficient. Then there's things like control optimization in complex processing environments, like an oil refinery. There can be hundreds of processing options, so optimizing that whole process. The other two in this area are cloud computing and networking. I think we all have a good understanding of what's going on there if you're in this area at all. And there are going to be significant improvements in wireless communication and network engineering, highly efficient on-demand internet-based computing. So cloud computing and networking are already major trends. Major players are in these businesses, ranging from Amazon to the hardware and software companies. And then the fourth of these is computer information and security. This is cryptography and encryption, both network and mobile security. And boy, this is making a lot of the headlines in recent days, and it really poses a conundrum for the government that is attempting to keep track of potential terrorists and computer, software, and hardware companies that are attempting to maintain the privacy of user information. It's quite a struggle, and balancing all of these needs, and quite frankly, the balancing appears to not yet have been achieved. The third of the four major areas is clear that technology is proliferating, and there's going to be major research to help expand technology into a wider and wider range of areas in our life. We've already seen a dramatic increase in the number of devices connecting us to the Internet of Things and to others. iPads didn't exist all that many years ago, iPhone, all that sort of stuff. And you now have watches that kind of do it. So technology is proliferating in a number of different ways. And there will be continued improvements in the human and computer interfaces. Increasingly, new technologies will work with older systems and processes, which hasn't always been the case. And technology is expanding beyond traditional domains, where it used to be in a company the domain of IT, or information technology. And it's now gaining a strong presence in areas like healthcare and transportation, to name just two. The fourth of the major areas of focused research is very promising. It's interdisciplinary research. And traditionally, research in these areas has been driven by IT, electrical engineering, and computer science. Increasingly, researchers are including areas like neuroscience and the social sciences. I love it. There's some big possibilities that can come when there is this sort of expansion and collaboration. And funding for these interdisciplinary projects is gradually increasing after a rather slow start. So, here are some of my thoughts on where all these trends are going. The two most promising areas for me are artificial intelligence and interdisciplinary research. Artificial intelligence, a combination of computers and software, increasingly becoming human innovation partners. I went through the list of things that artificial intelligence, that people believe artificial intelligence can play a strong role in. And I really see artificial intelligence as something that elevates computers and software from being tools in the innovation process to actually being partners in the innovation process based on what they can bring to the innovation process and creativity process even. The second one is the interdisciplinary approach. Multi-dimensional innovation possibilities exist here that can dramatically expand computer and software capabilities to improve life. Very exciting stuff. So, 4 major trends. I'm really excited about artificial intelligence and the interdisciplinary approaches as ways that can bring things to help innovation best practices. And if you're interested in more innovation best practices, all you need to do is go to my website, i2ge, that's the letter I, number 2, ge.com. On the left-hand side, you'll see the DIY innovation training on the menu bar. Just click on it. You'll see a whole bunch of training programs. If by chance one of them doesn't fit your needs, just send me an email. We'll be glad to tailor it to your unique needs. Here's why I'm doing this. I want to make you innovation self-sufficient with these training programs so that you don't have to pay expensive consultants like me and others to do it for you. Another source for innovation best practices is one of the 6 books that I published. It's titled Proven Practical Innovation That Delivers Results. It's available only at Amazon in paperback and Kindle, and it's value priced below my break-even cost. If you have suggestions, comments, or requests, I love hearing from listeners. Just email me at richard@i2ge.com. Thank you. In the next episode, we're going to be talking about 5 routes to more innovation problem solving. This comes from a McKinsey study. McKinsey is one of those top-tier innovation and general consulting companies, so anytime I see something there, I pay close attention to it. As all of you know by now, I deeply appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to spend it with me. I look forward to reconnecting with you soon, and until then, please have a great day.